Considering most pressure issues have been resolved, I am happy because now that means I can show you all my cool pressure 3D models that I had been hoarding up to 3 months ago. And I want to showcase them a little bit. It should be quick for each of them, so I'm really proud of how they turned out. Let's start with the angler. Alright. Oh, look at it. There it is. Go to the camera. There we go. And if we play that, it has the smoke. Alright, this is the angler. This is the angler model I made. I know that canonically he's just like, literally and canonically he's just like a flat PNG, but like, you know, why not? Always hand painted. Technically it is traced because doing all the wrinkles would be so painful, but like it's painted in here, kind of traced, but it's painted on the model itself. The eyes don't have eyeballs. They're just painted on the eye sockets. I don't think the angler moves its eyeballs a lot, or you can even see it move its eyeballs at all. The smoke follows the camera's rotation, so when rendering it should just like look the right way. The smoke particles follow the camera's position. The smoke particles come from this that I call the smoke machine, which is just this big plane that I also gave the smoke texture to, and that I just shoved inside the angler's body and then bound to the rig. So yeah, the particles come from the rig and will follow the rig. The rig. Alright. The rig is literally just a head, just an Autorig Pro head. It can close its mouth, it can move stuff. I still haven't made it so it can have like just completely black eyes, you know, for like ridge sections per se. But the mouth does do mouth stuff, and you can like adjust them, and there's the mandibles there and such. This entire model was very freaking easy to make and very freaking easy to rig. This is the model without any textures, without any of that. It's very low poly, very basic, very it's not the greatest, it's not the biggest, freaking most mind-blowing thing in the world, but it does the job. And it does the job very well, and I like it a lot. Of course, the smoke particles look a lot more smoky in the material preview, as you may see. But yeah, this is my angler. That's why I say I want to rapid fire a bunch of model showcases, because they are very simple models. There's not a lot to them. Yeah, it's a very simple model, very simple rig, very simple everything. And along with the angler, I have some angler variants. I have Pinky. Here's Pinky. I basically duplicated the angler's model, repainted it, moved the mesh around a little bit, and added the little thing here, added the 4 eyes, and we have Pinky. She does pretty much the same stuff that the regular angler does. She's a little bit more wonky because in general she's just a little bit more wonky. The regular mesh, the body that the particles follow and such. She has basically the exact same rig the regular angler has. Can like close her mouth, have her head go up and down, yada yada. Oh wait, how did I not find the? What the heck? Oh, that's interesting. I'm guessing, yeah, that's, I don't know, it's fixed now for some reason. But yeah, this is Pinky. Pinky is basically just a recolor of the regular angler with a bit different mesh. Those two are the only two ones I did make when it comes to the node entities, because I was making Frogger, but I didn't really finish Frogger. This is the progress I got when it comes to him. The mouth does do mouth stuff, but other than that, the textures are not finished. There's no smoke machine yet. Actually, this one I did make from scratch. I made him from scratch because he's a lot more different than Pinky and the regular angler. So that's why there's no smoke on this one, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just not finished. I didn't really get to painting Frogger because Frogger has a lot more color variation than the angler and Pinky. Alright, so that's what I have when it comes to node monsters. Alright, what else do I have? Well, I have the expendable. Alright, let's see, there we go, look at him. Yeah, with all the shadows, the good shading and stuff. I think I made this setting a bit too sunny, to be honest. Yeah, there's no black bar here because I tried to implement it. It was a pain in the butt, and I think it is just easier to add the sensor bar to the eyes in post-processing. It's just like a lot less of a pain in the butt. I didn't really do the diving gear properly because I didn't use references because I'm kinda dumb. I probably will have to fix that. Make the thing around here and then the crystal container down there. I have to do that, but this is the expendable. It's just, regular auto rig, pro rig. The hands can go into fists, which are kind of like a little bit of ugly fists. The legs move. You can get the leg to do that. And stuff, hips, and chests, and you can take off the little cap, and bro's bald in there. You can give them the diving mask, and the diving mask originally was gonna have a tube. Well, it does have a tube, but taking it off is a bit of a, it's a bit of a thing. So just like hide the tube when bro takes the mask off and then just like make it appear somewhere else. I don't know. And bro's expressions. Let's see. We lift this a little bit. You have eyebrows that do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to expressions. You have the mouth. A mouth that looks very nice in my opinion. You can move this. You can tweak the lips and such wherever you want, and I think it looks very good. The face is a little bit more mid-poly than the rest of the body, which is a lot more lower poly count, but I think it still looks very coherent with itself. Like it doesn't look weird, it just looks part of the piece itself. Yeah, pretty basic rig, pretty basic stuff. I'm not a professional, I have not studied, this is all like self-taught stuff, so it doesn't have like all the crazy freaking controllers and all the shape keys and the freaking I think it's something functional. I think it's something that looks very good, and I think it's something that works very good. Well, except when dang it, I'm not helping my case here. But yeah, this is the model of this guy that I have and that I made, and I really like it. I probably have to fix some things, as I said before, but I really like it. What else do we have? I have a squirrel. No, actually, let me show you Mr. Lopi first. I made a model of the Green Man. Look at the Green Man. He looks I love how he looks with that kind of lighting. It looks so freaking amazing. Here, he actually has like an actual face because he actually has a freaking actual face. I did like the little face here that he has like on the... It's the face that he has when like he jump scares you. Like I tried to imitate that to an extent, but it didn't really do much. Yeah, this is Mr. Lopi. He has his cane. Arms move, the legs move too, as per usual. Like with any other pro rig. I didn't show this with the expandable, but you can change this to FK or to IK very easily. All of that is very good. This is his default expression. He looks very old and very serious, even if I don't know what bro's like. But yeah, it's a pretty regular rig, similar to the expendables. His teeth are kind of crusty, but that's normal. His eyes, do regular eye stuff. You can take off his hat to reveal his surprisingly not bald head. Yeah, that's Mr. Loopy. This is the actual mesh. He still looks old because of the sharpenings of certain parts, but he doesn't look as old as he does. Like, a lot of the heavy lifting is really done by the texture painting. I generally use like higher definition just to like do a low poly painterly type of thing. Yeah, I really like how this guy turned out. Nothing super special about him. Just the 3D model and the texturing, but the rig otherwise it's just like a regular humanoid rig. Alright, before we get to Sebastian, I want to show you, well, not honorable mentions, I still wanted to show you the Squiddle, because this Squiddle is the Squiddle. Do you know what I mean? The ray was a pain in the butt to make. The only thing that is not custom made is the root bones, and this thing, which is literally just a head with extra neck bones. So this is the head, does that, and you can like rotate everything with that, and then this is like the base of the body. A big pet peeve I have always had with squiddles is that in the game they don't even look like squids, they just look like humanoid things with like tentacles at the bottom, but I really wanted to make this one look like an actual squid. So here you can see like this is the head of the squid. This is like the big part of the back it has, and then up here is like the face it pretends to have, and then the tentacles like down there. But like here you can see like the actual eyes of the squirrel itself, and that is something I'm really proud of how it turned out. Like even here you can see that like the mesh of the squirrel is literally how a squid would look. And then there's a little faceplate that is the one displaying like the actual faces of the actual, you know, like the textures of this thing, you get what I mean? Like it's transparent and all. And you can swap the texture for different squirrel faces. You know, here's the face texture, and you can change it for a different face. For example, here, I made a few faces. I didn't make all the faces because I couldn't find all the faces, but I did make a few faces. You can have the freaking passport face. You can have the freaking, whatever this thing face. You can pretty much have anything. They all generally work, and I really like how they turned out. They're all recreated by me. And then the rig, as I said before, like only this was as much as I did with AutoRig Pro. The rest, my friends, the rest was a pain in the butt to rig because AutoRig Pro doesn't really have like tentacle rigs, and so all of this was done manually through a tutorial that I'm gonna like show on screen right now. And you know, it's tentacle does tentacle stuff, and it's a lot better than just like, you know, IK spline bones, because there's just like a bit less of a pain in the butt. But I mean, they turned out very good. They move very well. I just have no idea of how to reuse them. They function a lot like an IK leg. You know, you move them, and then you have the target controller that like says where it looks, and then the foot itself, and then some extra controllers for like the movement and squishiness of the tentacle itself. It can stretch, it can do stuff. It is very cool. I'm probably gonna like reuse this rig for like the puddles of void mass if I end up making the puddles of void mass. You can move the targets of all the tentacles with this controller, and you can move all the tentacles with this controller, well, at least the upper tentacles. The little two ones here are just alone by themselves because they're separate. They're a different kind of tentacle. Technically, the squirrel would like walk with those two and then just like hover there with the rest. Yeah, I'm very freaking proud of how the squirrel turned out. It was a pain in the butt as far as I can remember. But yeah, I really freaking like it so much. Honorable mentions because I have already covered them in this channel. We have Infestation. This is Infestation. You have already seen her before in here. Tail does tail stuff. Different sections can move differently. The eyes are all controlled by like this big bone, or you can like control different sides of the eyes with like these side bones. And we have the fins, we have tail fin, we have all that good stuff. And I did make an animation of her swimming, and I really like what it looks like. Yeah. Next honorable mention is Painter, because again, he has already been here in this channel. There he is. That little showcase I had made like an animation of like all his facial expressions. I probably will have to make each of them its own pose in the pose library, because that would be so much easier to animate long term. But yeah, this is Painter. His rig is not the end of the world. It's all custom made because AutoRig Pro doesn't really have rigs for flat faces. And little eyebrow things, and little wrinkle things, and the mouth can be opened, and the thing can be thickened, and this thing can also be thickened, and it looks good. And I think I didn't really make it very clear in that showcase I made, but those are the bones that control like the actual pupil eyes, and you display the actual pupil eyes with this yellow bone. If you scale it, there they show, and then you can like move them around with this, and they look very good and such. And the procedural shading that I talked about in that moment, but that I didn't show very well. Shrouded in darkness, upside down, and then light. There's Painter. Painter exists. Now let's get back to what everyone was waiting for, and the most painful in the butt to freaking make. The man himself, the fish himself, Sebastian Solas. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but it's fine. This was the most freaking complicated model I made. Pretty much all the upper bodies up to Outer Rig Pro. I had to do like a little bit of cheating with this eye to make it a third eye. Basically add an extra head, parented it to the already existing head, made the head itself very small, and then accommodated one of its eyes here. If I turn on my We Don't Talk About This bone collection, yeah. This is the head in question, and you can see it is moved around by the bigger head. In itself, it is the thing that has like the third eye and such. This thing is a bit of a pain because I tried to use spline bones and I shouldn't have, and then that made my life a bit miserable, and I am too lazy to replace them, so now they're just like FK'd perpetually. The ears do move like that for like, what is it called? Body language, for a little bit more body language and expression in the body language. You have the mouth. The mouth is a bit weird with the like lip that goes forward a little bit, but it's fine. You can open it, you can pull the lips back, and I particularly like to pull the lips back when he smiles and such. I think it looks very, very cool. You got the eyelids, basic stuff for a rig. Let me make this man bald. There we go, we made him bald. Now you may see he has one eyebrow. The other eyebrow is gone and replaced by this third eye that can actually also do stuff. The upper body, again, it's just like Outer Rig Pro upper body. Those regular Outer Rig Pro upper body stuff. Fist pose, fist pose, fist pose. He's gonna the Scrambler actually have like their own rig too. This is the Scrambler, and it can like move like that and such. I got it from a tutorial. Whoa, why is this connected to that? Yeah, the backpack is from that one tutorial I also used for the higher poly version of Sebastian I made a while ago. The little straps can be moved. This is just a head with two bendy bones that are like modified to move like that. Where did the gun go? The hustler of the gun has its own little rig. The gun also has its own little rig. Can be pulled out, can be pointed, and it can also like be opened for like reloading. There's the trigger, and there's whatever the freak this thing is. I don't know much about guns, but like it looks like it can move. I don't know. All of that was the easy part of the rig, to be completely honest. The hard part of the rig was literally everything else. The entirety of the tail was made from scratch, because I really needed to make it from scratch, because I needed it to do like very specific things. It can like in itself move like such, and there's like extra controllers to adjust the curvature of the tail. You can also twist the tail. That is a very recent addition I made to the model, because that just makes life a little bit easier. You can twist the bones and actually tweak that to your liking. And I found while posing this that this was like a very necessary addition. You can tweak it better with the blue ones, and the yellow ones are like a more bigger general area of effect. The fins are nothing out of the ordinary. They do flare, and they do squish, and they do very fan-like stuff. The rest of the fins are very similar, just like some rigging and sometimes bone constraints were necessary, such as here. The pectoral fins can also do the same. I strayed away a little bit from canon and made the tail more like a sturgeon's tail, just because headcanons, and just because I really want this guy to actually swim and not flail around. I talked about pool noodles in the previous video when making that higher poly Sebastian model. Did you have your little tweaks for like moving specific segments and breaking things if you need to break things. Then, because posing this is a little bit hard when he's like on land, I made this FK tail switch. It unfortunately still resets the entirety of the tail because I don't know how to. This effect where it's like FK here and no, where it's IK here and then I do the FK switch and then it's still in the same pose. I don't know how to do that. I probably have to learn how that goes. But then when the tail is in its own IK mode, you can actually do a lot more interesting stuff with it. Because previously, if you grab this bone, you can do it. Previously here, the tail just like moves around with the entirety of like the upper body. If we make the tail IK, you can see that now the tail acts like a freaking leg. There we go, look at that. Classic game pose, guys. Anyways, that way it's easier to pose him like this and to animate him like this. You can actually like have him hover a little bit and it's not gonna affect the rest of the tail. Let's hide the fins and the tail tweaks. This moves the tail, this moves both the tail and this section over there. This is basically like that base. You can like move the foot per se. Man, this is horrible rigging now that I think about it. And this bone follows that and this bone pretty much stretches. This is pretty much the quote-unquote legs target. It will follow that direction. And then you can just, you have to use it like with care because you don't want to break stuff like I am right now. But it is a very functional rig. Like, it is a lot more functional than my first attempt at a rig of this sort. I would probably want to like make the fins shorter. That would be like a smart idea. And then the rest of the tail, it basically has the same setup as the regular FK tail. You know, this moves like that. It's just this section that has a bit more of a leg-like motion, just to be able to make some posing easier when it comes to like Sebastian on land. Because on land he moves a lot more like a snake. But if he was to be on water, then this setup would be a lot more useful because, you know, his whole tail would undulate in that case. Yeah, that was a pain in the butt to set up, but I'm very freaking proud of it. Especially considering I did not go to freaking animation school or anything school to learn how to actually make rigs properly. But yeah, this works for me, this is functional for me. I don't know how functional it would be for literally anyone else. Oh wait, I forgot to show you. You can actually toggle the clothes and such or separate meshes. So like, you know, if we were like in his freaking experiments era, then you can have them like that. This is my little showcase of all the Pressure 3 models that I own and that I have saved up on my hard drive. I kind of want to make more. I don't know if I will end up making more. But yeah, I'm all in for like suggestions and I'm all in for doing more of this pressure models if that's what you're into. Other than that, thank you very much for watching my shenanigans with these guys. Subscribe if you're looking up for more of these, which I hopefully will make. Touch grass, do good, be healthy, and I will see you hopefully soon. Goodbye.